amputee is challenging. So is parenthood. What happens if you combine the two? Today, I'll share 5 positive things and 5 challenging things about being an amputee mom.
Every family is different, so for context, here's a quick introduction. I'm Stephanina. I have 3 kids. My oldest just turned 14, my daughter recently turned 12, and my youngest is 4. He was a month old when my leg was crippled, so my experience as a disabled mom ranges from newborns to teenagers. I spent a couple years on crutches before becoming a full-time wheelchair user. In the nearly 2 years since amputation, I haven't been able to do much walking. So, what's it like trying to raise my kids as an amputee? Kids often don't consciously realize how much mom is struggling, so they're not likely to go easy on you, particularly if they're struggling too. This is especially true if your kids are young or have autism or other special needs. If something stressful is going on, such as an impending amputation or other surgery, my kids are likely to be extra needy, right when I wish for the opposite. Kids are fun. Not 100% of the time, but still most of the time, I sincerely enjoy being with my children. They're sweet, creative, and say the silliest things. They bring life and energy into my home. Sometimes a little too much energy.
Is it bedtime yet? Yeah. They go to bed.
Speaking of which, self-care takes a back seat when you're a parent. Kids are high-maintenance pets, and you've still got to feed and care for them even if you're tired, sick, in pain, or your foot falls off. Making sure the physical and emotional needs of other people are met at a time when your own needs are more intense is draining. If you've ever gotten the flu and still had to take care of kids, you know what I'm talking about. Except with a permanent disability, the challenge isn't going away, so you've got to learn how to adapt long term. This might surprise you, but raising a newborn when I couldn't walk was awesome. Not easy, but very special. Granted, it helped that baby Marco was the least fussy of my 3 kids. When my leg got crippled, I went many weeks where I was the one who couldn't sleep through the night. What did I do? I comforted myself by holding a soft, snuggly newborn. He's basically my therapy animal. Not being able to walk came with the unexpected perk of spending less time on mundane things like chores and errands, and more time holding the baby. Despite the challenges, I savored this period. For my older kids, we found new ways to spend quality time together. And because we no longer take it for granted, it means more now than ever. When you have a physical disability, the logistics of raising kids are tricky. For example, trying to potty train a toddler when you're in a wheelchair that doesn't fully fit into the bathroom and there's a flight of stairs right next to the bathroom door, so if you're not careful backing out, you're going to fall backwards down the stairs. Putting kids to bed is hard if you can't reach their rooms easily. Making dinner is also a hassle if the microwave is up high or you need things out of the cupboards. The layout of your house makes a huge difference. This applies mostly to being in a wheelchair, but even if you have a prosthetic leg, there are going to be times when you don't have it on, such as if a kid gets sick in the middle of the night. On the upside, my wheelchair is a portable, well-stocked base of operations. I feel like a turtle that carries its home around on its back. Whether I'm at home or away, I can have easy access to things like wipes, diapers, nail clippers, and snacks without having to carry a diaper bag on my shoulder. Quick caveat: every person's experience is different, including amputee parents. Some amputees recover well, others, like me, have setbacks. Being in a wheelchair versus on a prosthetic leg makes a huge difference, as do your unique family dynamics. To see videos about another amputee mom, I'll link to Carrie's channel, Elective Amputation, in the description.
That button for the garage.
Toddlers are faster than a one-legged mom, so are teenagers. Maybe it isn't a big deal most of the time, but when stuff like this happens, it'd be really nice to be able to dash after my kid. I found it very alarming, which is your cue to click the bell. During the toddler phase, I either buckled him on my lap in the wheelchair or put a leash on him when I was in dangerous areas, such as parking lots, because if my kid goes up a step or over a curb, I can't follow in a wheelchair. I have to think ahead to prevent problems before they occur. When my youngest was born, I didn't even bother buying a stroller because I am the stroller. With my first 2 kids, I have distinct memories of pushing strollers uphill or finding myself in places where I wished I'd thought to bring the stroller along. With a wheelchair, if a toddler hops on board, it only adds his weight, as opposed to having to push him plus a stroller and everything in it. And since I always have my wheelchair with me, I never have to bother packing something extra along. Plus, you know how babies and toddlers always want to be held, but you need your hands or your arms get tired? In a wheelchair, I always have a lap. A toddler can camp out there and my hands are still free to cook dinner, type on the computer, or roll around. I use a buckle if I'm outside so he won't fall off when I hit a bump. But in the kitchen, my toddler was able to come and go as he pleased. I got to enjoy all the snuggles without the inconvenience of carrying around a growing child. My disability often separates me from my kids, not just during the hospital stay post-amputation, but also because I have frequent doctor's appointments and have many days when pain or fatigue make it necessary for me to rest instead of doing things with my kids. Just because a parent is disabled doesn't mean he or she no longer has a job or other responsibilities. On the contrary, it often means she's more overloaded than the average parent, and that's hard on both mom and kids. Love is healing, and if there's one thing children are known for, it's sincere, enthusiastic love. No one will cheer you on or celebrate the little successes like a child.
Raising children is one of the most difficult but rewarding things I can think of. Even though I'm disabled, I'm grateful to be a mom. Off you go.
Let's try again.
Motherhood is a bit of an adventure. Luckily, this channel is all about amputee adventures, so here's a playlist about being a disabled parent. My favorite part is when this little guy pushes me up a steep hill. Have I mentioned that I love my kids?